All right, y'all, what's going on? It's Combo Breaker 99. I'm back with another post-fight discussion video. All right, y'all, let's talk about it. Let's talk about the main event. Let's talk about Alexa Grasso versus Valentina Shevchenko 2. First off, I got to say respect to both of these fighters putting on a great performance. It was a great fight, y'all. Great fight. The decision can't take away from the effort these ladies put in. But the decision does take a little bit of satisfaction away on our end and even a little bit from the challenger as well. You know, I think Valentina Shevchenko won the fight. Thought she did enough to win the fight. It was just that a judge saw fit to throw a crazy score out there to mess it all up. No way was this a 10-8 round. No way was there a 10-8 round in this fight. The fifth round was not a 10-8 round. Second round wasn't a 10-8 round. I scored this fight 3-2 for Valentina Shevchenko, or even 4-1 for Valentina Shevchenko. I know y'all gonna get mad at me about that, but hey, that's how I saw it. But we're gonna talk about that, all right? I will say this though, Valentina Shevchenko, she didn't dominate, not at all. Even if I think it was 4-1, she did not dominate this fight. She really had to fight to win the rounds that she did. You know, she really had to make those little adjustments to get it done. But I will say this, Grasso was not dominated. I'm not saying that at all. Grasso really has studied Valentina and crafted her style to make Valentina look a little less intimidating, all right? I can say that. You know, I can say that for sure, that Alexa Grasso has broken that Valentina Shevchenko aura. I don't know if it's just her or if it goes into the next fight, but from what I've seen, Alexa Grasso is really a thorn in the backside of Valentina Shevchenko, and that's real. You know, Valentina, she's definitely going down as one of the toughest fighters and the greatest fighters of all time in MMA, but I think Grasso's caught up to her, you know, because she's doing things that nobody else can do. But in this fight, Valentina, she did enough to win. You know, I feel like she made enough adjustments to stay ahead, and she still showed the better IQ at times. You know, she was staying busier. She was getting those takedowns. You know, Grasso's takedown defense was almost non-existent. Grasso's power and her slickness were really saved her. Her and her boxing, that and her boxing ability. Her boxing ability was still on point, all right? She was still setting up those big shots, but that right jab, that was really dictating the pace when she would step forward, and that slickness on the ground, you know, her activity on the ground. I think that's what really gave her some good moments as well in this fight. But like I said, for Valentina Shevchenko, my keys to victory, I thought that she had to get a finish. I thought she had to finish this fight, because if it did go to the cards, the judges were going to look for, they were going to look to give this fight to Grasso. And Valentina in the fifth round, she did get a little anxious, and with that takedown attempt, she gave the judges something to work with. You know what I mean? She gave them something to work with where they could say, oh, let me go ahead and throw that wrench in here and mess this whole flow up. You know, we can't get this to Valentina. I truly believe there was, you know, politics behind this when it came down to it. But real quick, like I usually do with these long, controversial fights, I'm going to go through each round and just kind of let y'all know how I scored it. I ain't going to, like, break down the rounds, you know, like punch for punch, but just how I saw it, just to kind of give y'all, you know, a layout on what I seen in the fight. Like I said, it was a competitive fight, all right? So starting with round one, Valentina, she got an early start, landing her straight left hands upstairs, you know, right through the guard. You know, she was landing those good straight left hands that she was setting up down the pipe, making Grasso miss. She found her range pretty well. You know, she landed a good body kick as well, and I was like, okay, maybe she's going to throw more of those. She didn't throw too many of those, but the body kick was there. It wasn't until Grasso switched stances again that Grasso started to land more. But Valentina, she was using that jab early. That's what she had to do. Grasso's right jab was much harder, though. Whenever she would step on it, she would kind of knock Valentina back, or, you know, kind of, you know, just kind of give Valentina a little pushback and make her rethink about coming in. But Valentina, she stuck to the striking. You know, she stuck to her straight left hand. She was trying to be a little bit more aggressive. But at times, Alexa Grasso was doing a lot of waiting. She was doing a lot of waiting in the first round. So Valentina, she got a nice level drop and a takedown and some good top control. And then she had a nice transition to the back. But shout out to Grasso. You know, she was able to scramble out, get back to her feet. But Valentina finished with that cage pressure. You know, she finished with the cage pressure, some top control, and I think she landed more effective strikes in the first round. So I gave the first round to Valentina. I don't know who scored the first round for Alexa Grasso, but I think that the first round was clearly Valentina. All right. Second round, Valentina, she started sticking to that 1-2. You know, she started sticking to the quick 1-2. Grasso, she was trying to throw more straights and strike her way in, but Valentina was tagging her with that straight left hand again. She was tagging her with that straight left hand and that right. But when Valentina just started to get into a groove, that's when Alexa Grasso started to set that trap. She started to come forward, and then she lands that. She comes over the top with like a straight left hand, then that right hook, and drops Valentina. I mean, it was a nice, smart setup where she just stepped in with the straight left hand, cracked Valentina with the left hand. Then she hit her with the right hook. Valentina, some people said it was off balance, but it was a clean knockdown. She knocked her down. She hit her back and she rolled. She just recovered real quick, and she was able to get back to her feet and went into a clinch with Grasso, which was smart. But when she went into that clinch, Grasso started scoring some good knees and some good shots up top to, from the body to the head. That's why I was like, oh man, Valentina might get finished here. She was about to get finished here, but Valentina did the smart thing. She shot in, got another takedown, took Grasso down again. It was like Grasso's takedown defense was non-existent. That's why she couldn't get the stoppage, because she would let Valentina level drop on her and she would not sprawl. She would not sprawl or create that distance. She would just accept the takedown. So Valentina got in some top control in the second round. It gave her time to recover, get back into the fight. But Alexa Grasso, she was working from the bottom. But yeah, I think that takedown and that top control kind of balanced it out to show you that Valentina wasn't dominated in the second round. So I gave the second round to Grasso, but it was not a 10-8 round. Third round, we had good jabbing from both fighters. Valentina, she was sticking that accurate pop jab, that real quick jab down the pipe. Grasso, she was coming forward with her power jab. She was coming forward where she would kind of lean heavy on that front foot, put some weight on it, and she would throw that heavy southpaw jab. And that's what was keeping Valentina on the back foot, making her give her respect. But again, Valentina, she set up that adjustment. She was able to get that level drop and take down again on Grasso. And this time she locked in a guillotine. And this time I thought it was over, but once again, the submission defensive skills of Alexa Grasso kicks in. She's able to survive it. Valentina, she was looking for the finish, like I said she needed to do. But somehow Grasso, she got out of it. But Valentina wasn't done. She transitions to a rear naked choke this time. But Grasso, defensive skills on point, throwing those little shots on, behind her back, hitting Valentina in the face. Valentina hitting Grasso in the face. Nice little exchanges on the ground with those strikes. But overall, had to give the grappling edge to Valentina this round. She pretty much controlled this one. So third round goes to Valentina. Fourth round, Valentina did a good job of making Grasso miss early. She was keeping her range, landing that jab, popping that jab, and landing a couple of low kicks. Grasso, to me, she can't really get into that groove of waiting like this. Even though she's the champ, you can't really sit back and wait like this because Valentina was piling up points. Valentina was picking her shots. All right, so Valentina, she shoots in for a takedown right when she's getting into that striking groove, which was another big mistake because when she shoots in for that takedown, Grasso finally stuffs it, but she starts landing these heavy knees to the head, which I guess they were legal because, Herb Dean didn't say anything, and like people were saying, she just had like a couple fingers on the ground, which I went back and saw it. I was like, okay, a couple fingers on the ground. They didn't really say anything here. I think you have to really be grounded like a knee or a couple hands on the ground, but Valentina was just kind of touching the ground, maybe just to kind of neutralize it and say, oh, I'm safe, but no, it don't work like that, right? So Grasso started landing these heavy knees to the head and to the body, and you can see Valentina getting a little bit groggy here, but Valentina, she was able to get out of it. Early I thought she would have won this round clearly if she would have just stuck to the striking because she was winning the first portion of the round, but then Grasso took over. She started taking over with those heavy knees to the head and to the body. But after that, Grasso, she gets this big takedown, but she doesn't do too much with it, right? She gets this big takedown, doesn't do too much with it. Valentina pops back up, and back at range, Valentina was winning the range fight again. And then she stunned Grasso with a good right hook. She lands her good southpaw right hook on Grasso and kind of stuns her. And from a distance, I feel like she landed more shots as well. And she gets a takedown to end the round, also opening the cut on Grasso. She gets a takedown to end the round, rocks Grasso, and she's winning like the first minute or so. Grasso, to me, just really had that inside moment in that one big takedown that she didn't really get too much get too much done with. So the fourth round, kind of a swing round, but I gave that round to Valentina as well. All right. Now the fifth and final round, Grasso, good boxer, but the head movement, it was not there. All right. This is the fifth and final round. Grasso's kind of coming forward. And, she's still boxing well, but she's not really moving her head around. So Valentina's popping her. She's popping that jab. She's winning the striking battle here. She's popping Grasso with combinations now, just stepping out of range, while Grasso, she's waiting for that one big shot. And that's the thing. Like, Grasso, she lands this hard jab once again, but it's just in singles. She's landing these single shots. That's why Valentina just getting comfortable at this point, outlanding Grasso with that straight left hand down the pipe and that right hook combo. Now she's picking up hers, So, Grasso at this point was leaking because she was eating she's leaking over the left eye because she's eating these hard right jabs and these hard right hooks, So at this point, I think Valentina, she could comfortably win because she's stinging Grasso. All right. So At this point, this is already like, yeah, at this point, we already have like a minute and 30 left. All right. So pretty much the majority of the round, 3:30, right? 3 minutes and 30 seconds of the round was all Valentina just moving and striking and out striking Grasso, right? Then when it gets to that minute 30 seconds left, Valentina makes that mistake and tries to get a takedown. She goes in for that level change and goes for a takedown. But Grasso slick, man. She slick, slides right out, gets the back of Valentina, goes for that rear naked choke. Somehow she survived, man, because it was reminiscent of the fourth round of the first fight, and she was about to lock in that choke on Valentina, but Valentina did a good job of defending it. She stretched her back, pulled her back, but Valentina, she defended well to the end, man. So I don't think in any way that was a 10-8 round. Now, if you want to give it to Grasso, fine, it would have been a 10-9 round, but still, with the way the scoring was, Grasso would have lost that fight. There were no 10-8 rounds in this fight, okay? That's how I saw it. 4-1 for Valentina or 3-2 for Valentina Shevchenko. Grasso, she was in the fight. She was giving Valentina a hard time, but I still think that Valentina Shevchenko was getting the edge, and she did a lot of damage even with those punches, and she had some good ground control moments as well. Now, again, not knocking. If you felt like Grasso won 3-2, fine. We can argue that all day, but in no way did I see this like a dead even fight where it should have just been a draw, because there was enough moments for you to pick. There was enough more moments to say, hey, Valentina won this fight, or if you want to say the champ kept it by split decision, fine, but draw just seemed like it was just out to just shut it down, you know what I mean? But when it comes to it, Valentina won the fight, because, hey, on the Mike Bell's scorecard, he had it 3-2. He had it 3-2 for Valentina, but to even it up and not give her the belt, he made it a 10-8 round. Because if it was a 10-8 round, 10-9 round in the fifth round, then Grasso would have lost the belt. All right, so that's just facts. So you can say, yeah, Grasso won all day, and okay, and on the record it shows that Grasso won, but we all know the truth there, right? And that's what I'm getting at. But that's how I saw it, all right? But anyways, the fight's done. The champ, she's fine with it because she defends her belt again by a draw. But for Valentina Shevchenko, I'm sure she'll deal with it. She's dealt with worse before. So moving on from here, I think it's only right that they do a third fight. I would like to see Grasso move on and fight Manon or Aaron Blanchfield, but it would be nice to see this chapter close, because now we're all going to be looking at this as like an open story. Just kind of left like, oh man, like what would happen? What's going to happen now? Like, is Valentina really back? I mean, in my opinion, she's back. She just was dealing with a really tough fighter that really studied her to a T, So no matter how many times they fight, it's always going to be a tough fight like that, all right? But, yeah, I love the fight. It was a good one. It's just up until that decision, you're like, oh, man, get out of here. You know what I mean? But I've seen fights in the past, boxing matches like Jermaine Taylor and Winky Wright, great fights that ended in a draw. Of course, for the fighters, it sucks. But for me, I can go back and watch it. Like, I'll go back and watch this fight. I go back and watch this fight. I done watched it 2 times now. I'll watch it a third. But on this one, my take hasn't really changed much. I still think Valentina did enough to win the fight. That's just me. But I'll be back on a little bit later, live to talk about the fight. And, one thing I got to say, people with these picks, they think like that really decides your knowledge on the fight game. No, it's just like, hey, I'm picking this person. I can't go in that person's head, and I don't have a crystal ball. You know what I mean? I'm not that type of person that act like I'm a psychic. I enjoy the fight game. So I just go out on a limb and pick people, going by the skills they have, and like somebody that has true knowledge and somebody that puts myself in the corner of a fighter. That's how I like to do it. Like, I know these fighters. That's why I say this is their keys to victory. Now, if I want to just go out and say who's going to win this fight, I'll pick this person. You know what I mean? But that doesn't guarantee they're going to win. You know what I mean? Some people just pick because they simps or because they fans, but they don't know. They don't know for sure, right? They don't know for sure. They just going to ride it whenever that person wins and say, well, I told you so, but they really don't know. No, none of y'all really know. None of y'all even laced up gloves before, stepped in the cage or in the ring before, all right? But anyways, we're going to talk about it a little bit more in this live, and I'll let some of these other people come in if they want to talk, But overall, Valentina won the fight. That's how I see it. But it was a draw. I can live with a draw. I'm not mad. I didn't have a horse in this race anyways. Let's see him do it a third time. let's see them do it a third time. But if they clearly want to move on to a Manon or Aaron, I'm good with that too, because the top 5 right now is fire. I love the fight game in the flyweight division. That's how it is for me, guys. Combo Breaker 99, I'm out. It's not that serious. Peace.